A long time ago, in the heart of London, something very big and very loud was built. It was not a castle. It was not a palace. It was a clock. But not just any clock. This clock was called Big Ben. Many people think Big Ben is the name of the clock tower, but that is not true. Big Ben is the name of the biggest bell inside the tower. The tower itself is called the Elizabeth Tower, named after Queen Elizabeth II. But everyone still says Big Ben when they talk about it. Big Ben is a very important part of London. It is like a symbol. When you think of London, you think of Big Ben. It is tall, old, and strong. It tells the time every day. It rings every hour. People can hear it from far away. Tourists take pictures of it. Londoners hear it and know the time. It is part of the city's heartbeat. The tower was finished in 1859. That was more than 160 years ago. At that time, the world was very different. There were no phones, no cars, and no internet. People needed good clocks to know the time. And Big Ben was one of the best. It was very accurate, which means it was very good at telling the correct time. Even today, it is one of the most accurate mechanical clocks in the world. Big Ben is also very heavy. The bell inside the tower weighs more than 13 tons. That is like 2 elephants. The sound of Big Ben is deep and strong. It sounds like history. When Big Ben rings, it is not just the sound of metal. It is the sound of time itself. But Big Ben has not always had an easy life. In 1941, during the Second World War, London was attacked. Bombs fell from the sky. Many buildings were destroyed. Fire and smoke filled the air. But Big Ben stood tall. The tower was damaged, but the clock kept working. It was like Big Ben was saying, "I am still here. London is still strong." People felt hope when they heard Big Ben ring during the war. It was more than a clock. It was a friend, a protector, a symbol of courage. There are 4 clock faces on Big Ben, one on each side of the tower. Each face is more than 7 meters wide. That is bigger than a small car. The hands of the clock are also big. The minute hand is more than 4 meters long. That is as long as 2 tall men lying down. The hour hand is a little shorter. These hands move slowly, always pointing to the correct time. Do you know how Big Ben got its name? There are 2 stories. One story says the bell was named after Sir Benjamin Hall. He was a big man, and he helped with the building of the tower. People called him Big Ben, and they started calling the bell that too. Another story says it was named after a popular boxer at the time, Benjamin Conte. He was also a very big man. No one knows for sure, but both stories are fun to think about. Big Ben is not just a clock. It is also a storyteller. Every ring of the bell tells a story. Sometimes it is the story of happy times, like when a new king or queen is crowned. Sometimes it is the story of sad times, like when someone important dies. And sometimes, Big Ben is quiet. That happened in 2017, when the clock stopped ringing for repairs. People missed the sound. London felt a little different. But after 4 long years, the bell rang again. It was a big moment. People came to listen. They cheered. They felt something warm in their hearts. Every year, on New Year's Eve, Big Ben rings at midnight. The sound goes across the city. People count down the last seconds of the year with the bell. 10, 9, 8, and then, the loud, clear ring of a new beginning. It is a special moment. A moment of joy. A moment when everyone feels together, even if they are far apart. But did you know Big Ben once ran late? In 1962, on New Year's Eve, snow and ice made the hands of the clock move slowly. The bell rang 10 minutes late. People laughed. They said, even Big Ben can be late sometimes. But it was also sweet. It showed that even the strongest things in the world can have small problems. That makes them feel human, like us. And Big Ben is also a star. It has appeared in many movies and TV shows. When people want to show that a story is in London, they show Big Ben. It is like a celebrity. It stands tall next to the River Thames, with its golden lights shining at night. Tourists love to see it. Children try to guess when the next ring will come. People from all over the world know its name. Big Ben is not just made of stone and metal. It is made of dreams, of history, of memories. It has watched London grow. It has seen carriages turn into cars, letters turn into emails, and people from every country walk its streets. And still, it rings. It watches. It remembers. Long ago, before Big Ben was built, there was another clock tower on the same spot. But that tower was destroyed in a fire in 1834. After the fire, the British government wanted to build something better, something stronger, something that would last for hundreds of years. And so, the plan for Big Ben was born. The man who made the design for the tower was named Charles Barry. But he did not work alone. Another man, Augustus Pugin, helped with the details. Pugin loved Gothic style, pointed arches, tall windows, and decorations that looked like the Middle Ages. He gave the tower its beautiful style. Sadly, Big Ben was the last project he worked on before he died. He never saw the finished tower. But his dream became real. The bell itself was made in a special way. The first bell, made in 1856, was very big and very heavy, more than 16 tons. But there was a problem. The bell cracked before it was ever used. It had to be melted down and made again. The second bell, the one we know as Big Ben today, was made in 1858. It was a little smaller but still huge. The bell was so heavy that it had to be pulled up the tower very slowly. It took 18 hours to lift it to the top. Imagine that, one whole day just to move the bell up the tower. When it was finally in place, people waited for the first sound. They listened. And when the bell rang for the first time in 1859, the city smiled. The sound was deep and rich. It was the sound of something great. But soon, there was a surprise. The new bell cracked too. Not long after it started ringing, people heard a strange sound. Something was wrong. The hammer, the piece of metal that hits the bell, was too heavy. It made a crack in the bell. People were worried. Should they stop using the bell again? This time, they had a clever idea. They turned the bell slightly so the crack was not in the way of the hammer. Then they used a smaller, lighter hammer. And guess what? It worked. The bell rang again. The crack is still there, even today. But it doesn't stop the bell from ringing. That little crack is part of Big Ben's story. It shows that sometimes, things are not perfect, but they still work beautifully. Big Ben is part of a building called the Palace of Westminster. This building is where the British Parliament meets. That means it is where important decisions are made for the country. Members of Parliament talk, argue, and vote on new laws. While they work inside, Big Ben watches from above. It is like a quiet guardian, keeping time while history is made. Inside the tower, there is a long, narrow staircase with 334 steps. That's a lot of steps. There is no elevator. If you want to see the clock room, you have to climb all the way up. Only a few people get to go up there. The people who take care of the clock, for example. They are called clock mechanics. Their job is to make sure the clock always shows the right time. They oil the gears. They check the weights. They clean the glass. It is careful, quiet work. There is one special thing the mechanics do to make the clock perfect. They use coins, old British pennies, to make small changes to the speed of the clock. If they add a penny to the weight, the clock runs a little faster. If they take one off, it runs a little slower. This is a clever trick. And it shows how something simple, like a coin, can help with something very big. Sometimes, Big Ben must stop. This happens when workers clean the tower or fix the parts inside. But when Big Ben is silent, London feels strange. People say, "I miss the sound." That's because the sound is more than a chime. It is part of the city's life. Big Ben also has its own rhythm. When the hour comes, it strikes the number of the hour. For example, at 5 o'clock, it rings 5 times. But there are also smaller bells around Big Ben. These bells play a short tune every 15 minutes. The tune is famous. It is called the Westminster Quarters. Many clocks around the world use this same tune now. But it started with Big Ben. And now, let's imagine a day in London. The air is fresh. People are walking. Red buses move down the street. Tourists take photos. The River Thames flows beside the Palace of Westminster. And then, suddenly, a deep sound rolls across the sky, bong, bong, bong. It is Big Ben. Everyone hears it. Some people look up and smile. Some check their watches. Some take a deep breath. For just a moment, the sound connects everyone. Old or young, local or visitor, Big Ben is part of them all. Even birds sometimes stop flying for a second when Big Ben rings. It's like the world listens. The sound is powerful. It is kind. It is proud. It says, "This is London. Welcome." Big Ben has lived through kings and queens, wars and peace, snow and sunshine. It has seen old streets become modern roads, and horse carriages become fast trains. It has never moved. But the world around it has changed many times. And through it all, Big Ben has kept time. Second by second. Minute by minute. Hour by hour. Sometimes, Big Ben is more than just a clock. It becomes a part of history, a part of stories. In 2009, Big Ben celebrated its 150th birthday. People from all over the world came to London. They looked up at the tall tower and listened to the famous sound. The sound had been the same for a century and a half. Old people remembered hearing it when they were young. Children listened and felt like they were part of something big. In that moment, the bell was not just metal. It was something living. A voice from the past, ringing in the present. And maybe, it will still be ringing in the future. Because Big Ben does not get tired. Big Ben does not sleep. It waits and watches. It listens to the rain. It smiles at the sunshine. It feels the heartbeat of the city. But not everything about Big Ben is quiet and serious. There are funny stories too. One time, in 1949, a group of birds landed on the minute hand. There were so many birds that the clock became slow. Just by sitting there, the birds made the time wrong by more than 4 minutes. The workers had to wait until the birds flew away. Then they fixed the time again. It was a small event, but people laughed about it. Even Big Ben can have a silly day. And once, a cleaner inside the tower left his bucket in the wrong place. The bucket stopped the clock. The hands did not move. The chimes did not ring. It was quiet for several hours. The workers found the problem and removed the bucket. Everyone laughed again. Big Ben may be strong, but it is not safe from buckets. The sound of Big Ben is so famous that radio stations use it too. In 1923, the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC, began a tradition. Every evening, they played the chimes of Big Ben live on the radio. People at home would stop what they were doing and listen. It was peaceful. It was reliable. And even now, after 100 years, many people still listen to Big Ben on the radio or online. Some people wonder what it feels like to stand next to the bell when it rings. Well, it is very loud. So loud that your whole body feels the sound. It does not just go in your ears. It goes into your chest, into your bones. That is why workers who go near the bell wear special ear protection. Without it, the sound could hurt their ears. But for those who hear it from outside, from the street, the sound is just right. Not too loud, not too soft. It is strong, like the city. The clock on Big Ben is also a kind of artwork. Each clock face is made of iron and glass. The glass looks like lace, with a fine pattern. Around the edges of each clock face are golden letters. The letters say in Latin, Domini salvum fac reginam nostram victoriam primum, which means, O Lord, keep safe our Queen Victoria the First. That was the Queen when Big Ben was finished. The tower itself is also a beautiful building. It is made of stone and decorated with little shapes and designs. There are windows, narrow and tall. There are small pointed roofs. At night, the tower is lit with golden light. It shines like a lighthouse in the middle of the city. At the very top of the tower is a light. This light is special. It is called the Ayrton light. It shines when Parliament is in session, that means when the politicians are working late at night. When people see the light, they know, someone inside is speaking, voting, making laws. The tower is watching. Some people have dreams about Big Ben. They imagine climbing all the way up. They imagine looking down at the city. They see the River Thames, the London Eye, the red buses, the grey rooftops. The wind is in their hair. The bell is next to them. The sound is so close, so deep. In the dream, time stops. They feel small, but also part of something great. And it is true, Big Ben does make people feel something. Maybe it is because it has always been there. Through storms. Through peace. Through change. Or maybe it is because of the sound. The bong, bong, bong. It is not just noise. It is something we can feel inside. A memory. A moment. A beginning. A goodbye. Big Ben is also used for important events. When someone royal dies, the bell rings slowly, once every minute. The sound is heavy and respectful. When there is a wedding, the bell rings with joy. When there is a new year, it counts down to midnight. In each case, it is not just time that it tells a feeling. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the tower was under repair. The bell was quiet. The scaffolding, those are the metal bars around the tower, covered its face. It looked like Big Ben was sleeping. People missed the sound. London was already quiet. Without Big Ben, it felt even more still. But the silence was only for a time. When the bell rang again, it felt like hope. The sound was soft but strong. It said, "We are here. We are coming back." Now, Big Ben is alive again. The clock ticks. The bell rings. The city moves. And above it all, the tower watches. Not with eyes, but with time. As the sun rises over London, its golden light touches the top of the Elizabeth Tower. Birds fly past. Buses begin to move. Shops open. People wake up and start their day. And high above them, Big Ben ticks quietly. Each second moves forward. One by one. No hurry. No rest. Just time. For more than 160 years, Big Ben has never missed a day. It has seen fog and fire, snow and sunshine. It has heard footsteps, music, and silence. It has felt war and peace. Through every moment, it has stayed the same. Watching. Ringing. Remembering. Every person who comes to London wants to see Big Ben. They take photos. They smile. They listen for the sound. And when the bell rings, something special happens. For a few seconds, nobody speaks. The sound is so strong, so deep, so clear. It fills the air. It fills your heart. For Londoners, the sound is part of their life. It tells them the time without needing a watch. It says, the day is moving. You are moving too. Some people have grown up with it. They remember hearing it as children. And now, their children hear it too. Even people who live far away know Big Ben. They see it in books, in movies, in their dreams. It becomes a part of the world's imagination. A friend you have never met, but always known. Time moves forward. Years pass. New buildings rise. New voices speak. But Big Ben stays. It is not just a clock. It is a promise. A promise that life goes on. That time continues. That even when things change, some things remain. And so, if you are ever in London, walk by the river. Look up. Listen. Maybe the sun will shine. Maybe the sky will be gray. But the sound will come. The deep, steady ring. Bong, bong, bong. It will tell you that you are here. It will tell you that the city is alive. It will tell you that time is moving, and so are you. This is the story of Big Ben. A clock. A bell. A tower. And a friend to all who listen. Thank you for listening to this story. If you liked it, write about it in the comments and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new stories.